Y'all know that I would typically like to start out with a little bit of Pinot for this review, but he was like, I was like, it's noon. Let me wait till later. Let me wait till I get to the barbecue before I start drinking, even though I really would like to have a glass of wine now. Let me wait. I really just got out of bed. I really been relaxing. So I'm just on my water today. Hey, JNet DNJ30. Hey, Kishwar. Okay, Kishwar, I see you on the lives. You don't miss a notification. Shout out to you. Hey, Ferris. Hey, Doja Cat. What's up, y'all? Are y'all working? Are y'all off today? I hope y'all are off today and enjoying y'all's Monday. Okay? To be real, I still needed another day. It's that calling in sick time. I'm joking. I'm not about to do that. But I really needed another day to recoup, y'all. This weekend has been long, okay? I definitely would have had this review to y'all earlier, but I had a long weekend. Hey, Rachel AA from Dallas. Girl, I'm in Dallas with you. It's real gloomy today. What's up, Victoria? Notification gang. You stay ready on Twitter, on YouTube. You always there. Hey, Brittany. What's up, y'all? Woo, so this weekend, I went to a wedding and a funeral in the same day. And then I went to my best friend's house for a game night. It was a lot and tiring, to say the least. So I stayed in the bed, and that's why I'm coming to y'all this Monday with this review. So thank y'all for still showing up, even though the review is a little bit tardy. Y'all are coming through. So thanks, y'all. Yes. Hey, Asia. Welcome to Alive, y'all. We haven't even got started yet, so you right on time. All right, y'all. So today we are about to review Ready to Love Season 3, Episode 8, The X Factor. This episode was fairly entertaining, y'all. I hate that hey Bianca, hey Terry, thank y'all for showing up. Y'all, I hate that they keep showing us clips for things that don't happen for another 2 episodes. I'm like, why? Hey Josiah, what's up? Yeah, why do they keep doing this to us? Gosh. So let's go ahead and start out with the review. One of the things that I thought that they were gonna give us definitely was more of Liz and David arguing. Okay, we didn't get any of that last scene that they showed us in the last episode where it's like, no, let me speak, no, let me speak, let me lead. And I was like, dang, to be continued. How many episodes do we have with this, y'all? I hope that it's a strong 10. And when I say strong 10, I'm hoping that we get a really good ending to this. A strong 2 episodes, y'all. I've been talking about this every single review. We still have not seen Joelle and Amber at the body paint session. So is that something that y'all are going to show us? Or is that something that y'all been saving for YouTube? Because I have heard from a couple of my subscribers and people commenting on the videos that they're editing like to the max, okay? I even saw Kyra and Vernicia on YouTube, and they said they had edited a lot too. I didn't know that David was one of Kyra's tops. He was definitely her top 3, and we didn't know that. I also didn't know where David was that one episode where he was completely MIA, but he went on a double date. So I'm like, why are y'all not giving what you're supposed to give? You're definitely editing too much out. I think even Jason said a lot was edited out. And like I said, most importantly, the body painting date, because that's what I wanted to see. So y'all, the episode starts out and I got my wishes, okay? If y'all have watched my last 2 Ready to Love reviews, I said to y'all, I am tired of the ladies having the ladies lounge outside at brunch on somebody's patio in that Houston humidity. I was tired of the girls sweating out they leave out. So they must have heard what I said. I'm joking, y'all. I know that this is already filmed, y'all. But I got my wishes, y'all. The ladies were no longer sitting outside sweating their hair out. We got some tea from Josiah's World TV. A trusted source has told him that David is a preacher. I believe it. I believe it all the way. So the ladies get invited over to nephew Tommy's house and they meet his wife for a second time because she was at the masquerade ball. I forgot her name, but she's a beautiful woman. They are a beautiful couple with their matching outfits. They met in 1986, talking all about that. And the Miles home is now the new ladies lounge. So y'all, just for the fact of never being satisfied. Hey Ramel, thank you for joining. Okay. But y'all, just for the sake of never being satisfied, because you know us as YouTubers, we always have to critique everything in the episode. I love, thank you, Doja, Jackie. I love that the ladies are no longer sitting outside. But why can't the ladies just use the same men's lounge, the men's lounge? Like, what is making it a men's lounge? Just turn it into a ladies' lounge and serve them champagne instead of the brown whiskey or whatever it is that y'all be drinking. So that's my criticism for the ladies' lounge being at the Mouse Home. So this episode, the women are tasked to introduce their men of interest to someone from their past, and by someone of their past, they mean the ex. One of the things that threw me, am I right or am I right, y'all? In the introduction episodes, we found out that Liz had not been in a relationship for 17 years since high school. Okay, but now while that means that she could have been in situationships, I don't know why our girl Liz was so shook. She was so shook. He said, introduce the men to your exes. And she said, I was like, Liz, who are we meeting? Who are we meeting? And then, you know, come to find out, we end up meeting her friend / best friend. But I wish we had more context to the relationship between her and old dude. And it's like, what do you mean you ain't really been in a relationship for 17 years? Okay. Did anybody else peep Liz's facial expression? So our first date, y'all, is between Vernicia, David, and Joelle. And let me be the first to say, y'all, David is handsome. Very, very handsome. He was the most handsome looking out of all the exes. Yeah, he looked real nice. I'm not surprised though, because Vernicia is a baddie, like we all know. David and Joelle, what they have in common is that they are both from Louisiana. And what was funny was Joelle didn't seem the least bit intimidated by David at all. So he just sat down and was like, hey, what's up, brother? Joelle, I forget how old he is until I seen him pop up with that Applejack hat on. I was like, that is too cute. And yes, Rachel, I definitely saw them matching with the black leather. I was like, wow, this is weird. Were they matching, or like did they plan to match, or did this something that just happened? And also wish that we got more context as to like why they broke up. They didn't get into that with every single couple. And I'm like, come on. You're right here with me. David definitely matches her fly. I see it. They look like they go together. Joelle looked a mess. Okay, right? Joelle definitely looked like an older, he was given very much uncle, okay, with the hat and the glasses. While he is a handsome man, I told y'all in my first review, he very much reminds me of Peter Guns. But a much better looking version of Peter Guns. That's no shade to Joelle. So y'all remember, Vernicia was also married before. I wish that this was the episode where we could have met the ex-husband. So I know Vernicia was married before, Alexis was married before, and David was also married before. Now, the episode was about meeting the women's exes, but I kind of wish they gave us some exes that really had some tea on the girls. And I don't think these exes had the tea. They called them little lightweight exes, okay? So yes, they were low-key matching. And then as the conversation goes on, they're pretty friendly. And Joel ends up asking the real questions. He said, I'm going to get down to the real. Is she clingy? And they pause for a little dramatic effect. And David ends up saying, like, no, she's not clingy at all. Like, nah, you won't even have to worry about that. And then they start going on explaining the disagreement that Joelle and Vernicia got into. Now, I wish they brought it full circle and explained why Joelle chose Kyra in the men's lounge last episode. So these two stories go together. So basically, Vernicia were supposed to meet with Joelle to go get some food. Joelle was out doing something else. And he never hit her up to tell her, hey, I'm too busy. Let's rain check food. That ain't going to happen. And to him, he was under the understanding that if he didn't communicate anything at all, that was the signal for Vernicia to go on about her day and know that their dinner was canceled. Vernicia was both hungry and angry. She was hangry. So I feel you, okay? Literally, when it comes down to my food, if we got plans to go eat somewhere, do not play with me. You got like an hour tops. Like from the moment I get hungry to like the next hour tops before I transform. So I was a little bit concerned thinking that Vernicia was gonna be clingy just because she had her sights only set on Joelle, but I definitely don't think that's what she's giving. I think Joelle, because we are more than halfway done with the season, I think now towards the end, Joelle is questioning himself because him and Vernicia have been on the same page. Him and Vernicia really have only been having eyes for each other. And I think Joelle is wondering, like, dang, am I missing anything? Damn, did I give myself the opportunity to meet other people on this show? And that's why I feel like even if Joelle and Vernicia were to leave here together at the end of this, they wouldn't stay together long term. And that's because y'all were supposed to get on the show, date other people. That's the part of the task, okay? Date other people. I don't care if he was your number one. That would have been fine. But y'all should have dated other people. And then, you would feel like you exhausted all your options and you would be happy with the person that you chose. So I'm never one, to encourage them to keep all their eggs in one basket. Like, it's cute, but that's not what you're here for. It's not what you're here for. So that was a pretty cute and sweet date. I really wish David had the tea, I told y'all, but it seemed like it was a pretty good date. Vernicia is not clingy, and Joelle needs to communicate, but I really think he's trying to backpedal on this whole situation because he knows that we're getting to the end of this. So now, y'all, the next date that we get into is Alexis, and Alexis introduces us to a guy named Joseph, her ex. Now, this is her ex-boyfriend before she was married, because she was one of the ones who was married before. Not the pastor, y'all. I would have loved to see the pastor come on here and spill some tea about Alexis, but he didn't. So she brought Joseph on the show, and he's all right. He's all right, I guess. He looks different than Ron. I mean, Ron's all right as well. David's the best looking ex. But anyway, Ron shows up and Joseph says, yeah, I sense the chemistry between you two. And honestly, y'all, based on that interaction that Joseph saw, I don't think that was enough to claim chemistry. The way that Alexis moves, you will see chemistry with everybody. Because Alexis is very sensual, physical touch is her thing. She's very flirtatious. I think you will be able to see chemistry with anybody who was a little bit liking Alexis. So I'm just like, I guess, I did prefer Alexis over Chrysanthemum, but whatever. So as soon as Ron sits down and they start talking, he jokes and he says, man, I can feel the religion coming off of you. Are you religious, man? And he was like, yeah, I actually am. And that's where they actually have to hit their differences head on. Ron said a couple episodes ago that he lives his life like a rock star, but he never necessarily said if he was an atheist, if he was spiritual, but he didn't believe in going to church. And he was kind of given, I don't believe in the church, but more this episode, he was very much given like, he's not spiritual at all. Okay. Y'all comment below. Y'all let me know what Ron was giving y'all this episode, because I feel like there's typically two different types of people. Of course, there's more. But when we're speaking in this term, there's either somebody who is spiritual on their own and they don't believe in like church communities because they've been crossed before. And then there's other people who don't believe in Christianity, to like put it blankly. Some people just believe in like the universe. They do their own thing, which is fine. So that's definitely what Ron was giving me. Hey, Fedora. Thank you for joining, girl. So anyway, Alexis was absolutely turned off by that. She spent this whole time trying to avoid the differences between her and Ron, which was religion. And I think that that's a huge one for her to kind of dismiss, y'all. So one of the differences that Ron plainly said in front of Joseph was that we're different, whereas Alexis, if she has a problem, she's going to pray about it. Me, I'm going to go out and get it. Now, as for me, I have to pray on it and then go out and get it. You got to do both, okay? But Ron and Alexis are so much different. Alexis has led kind of her personality or her identity with being a woman of Christ. Not as much as Liz, but she lets it be known that she's definitely a woman of Christ. She used to be a preacher's wife, and God has gotten her over the past 5 years of whatever I'm assuming her divorce, to now. She's a single mom. So I'm like, how is it that you lead with your identity in Christ and a little bit of sexuality, y'all? Because let's not play. That's also what she leads with. But you settle for Ron. So I think that this episode was the perfect opportunity for Alexis to look in the mirror, and she realized that maybe Ron isn't for me. Maybe I just want Ron because he chose me. And that's what she ended up saying. She just wanted to be somebody's first. Yes, Asia, I agree with you. She should not be dismissive of the signs. So this exercise worked. This was a good episode for Alexis to notice that. That ain't the man for you. And just because somebody chose you first doesn't mean that you should be with them. So now, y'all, we get a little sponsored clip in the episode from Seagram's. Y'all let me know if y'all peeped that. The ladies went to the nail shop. They were served different drinks. We see Vernicia, Alexis, Liz, and Kyra. And really all we got from that was what we have been getting. We know that Liz and Kyra like the same men. They were drinking the same drinks. Jason's and David's, okay? Yes. Ron cannot be changed. I agree with you, Brittany, and that's something that Alexis will have to decide what you want to deal with. He can't be changed, and it's definitely not going to work out. He's going to be mad at you every time you go out the front door to go to church on Sunday. Like, dang. Oh, and then imagine if you want to have other kids as well. So, yes. Y'all peeped it, okay? You peeped that sponsored segment in the episode. I was like, y'all, goodbye. So, yeah, Liz and Kyra like the same men. That's pretty much that. The nail shop was cute, though. I think that was a good advertisement for Vernicia's friend as well. I wish that we would have saw Vernicia's salon because she's a salon owner. So I was like, why don't you host that at your own salon? Okay. So now let's go ahead and move on to the dramatics, y'all. The dramatics. Finally, okay, we meet Clarence. I really enjoyed Clarence. Clarence seemed like a really nice dude. However, I'm not one to have relations with somebody and then somehow they turn into Big Brother. That shit is so weird to me. I don't care if y'all didn't have sex. Even if y'all like kissed, that is so weird to me. You turn into Big Brother. Now, while it is weird, I do think that David wouldn't allow that shit because he's controlling AF. And as the episodes go on, y'all, David is continuing to show his black ass. It is kind of nerve-wracking. I'm like, what is he going to do? So, y'all, the date starts out and David is not there yet. She explains to Clarence that she likes him, that the date went fine. She didn't say good, y'all. She said the date went fine. And the date that she's referring to, for those of you who don't know, she is referring to the date where she met David's two friends. She said that he switched up when the cameras left. He tried to basically expose her in front of his friends. And I'm not surprised because I knew something with David's whole vibe was off. Whenever she pulled up to the date, he was very much dry. Like he wasn't really all into her like he was before the masquerade ball. In front of his friends, it was just real business. And he just didn't seem to have any feelings for her. Hey, Sam. So, yes, she tells Clarence that during the date, she says, he asked her, what else did you do that day? And she told him that she met up with Jason's friends. And he said, oh, well, did you kiss him again? And Liz felt uncomfortable. Like, if I tell you something in private, I should be able to trust you to keep that between me and you. What alarms me about this, y'all, is that he has tried not once, but twice to try to embarrass her or punish her for simply dating other people on the show, which is what you're supposed to do. Okay? At this point in time, y'all keep referring to each other as interests. That's not your man. That's not your woman. So why are you doing all that? I had actually heard in the YouTube streets that allegedly David was super controlling in his past marriages. Okay, David's been married twice already. So for him to say that he likes to move slow, I'm like, where? We ain't seen it. Okay. The only reason why you're holding yourself back from Liz at this point is because you're trying to regain control, and it's pretty disgusting to me because I hate to see how he moves. Yes, I'm getting emotional abusiveness. Okay, I'm not a therapist. I cannot diagnose, but he's playing mind games. That's what I'm gonna call it. Okay, so for the first time that he played her was in the men's lounge whenever he decided to choose Kyra. He even admitted in his confessional that by me not choosing Liz, I probably assisted in letting her be the bottom two. And something about it made it seem like he was almost happy that he had her ass out there on the bottom two. Like, yeah, I know she ain't going home, but I'm gonna scare her ass a little bit because that's what you get for kissing Jason. I was like, that's weird. Okay. Then the next time you try to play mind games with her and play emotional games is whenever you told your friends in front of her that she kissed Jason. I'm like, why are you trying to expose? It just made me feel really uncomfortable. It made me feel like David is only for Liz as long as she is in the grip of his hands. In the minute that she does anything that's not to his liking, he's ready to punish her. You're not her dad. You're not even her man. The shit's weird, okay? So he's doing a lot. Now, okay, Sam is studying psychology. Girl, yeah, shout out to you. For a lot of y'all, I'm going to tell y'all this about me only for a couple seconds because this review is not about me. But when I first started going to college, I initially wanted to go for psychology because I love reading people, learning about how like people operate, criminal psychology to be exact. And then I ended up changing my mind. So this review shit is definitely like my getaway because we can analyze and talk about the bullshit that we see people do on here. And he was definitely on some bullshit. Monica thinks that David is dangerous, and I have to agree. One more thing I'm gonna say about David. Okay, I'm gonna go a couple episodes back. Y'all remember when David was crying to Liz and said, I don't know if I can afford for anyone to leave again. And he said that the lady, his ex-wife just got up and left. I was like, sir, them tears was coming down his eyes, but I was not at all like feeling bad. I was almost like, it's something you're not telling us. Ain't no woman just getting up and leaving, okay? Ain't nobody just leaving like that. She had to feel smothered. Something about David told me smothering, okay? Whenever Stacey went on that date with him episodes ago and he wanted all, his partner's information, smothering. Ain't nobody just leaving like that. So I was like, you ain't telling it all. And I've seen way too many Christian men, and this is a stereotype, not to say all of them are like that, but I've seen way too many Christian men who take the whole let me lead thing to their head. While a man should lead, you have to make sure that that man is mentally sane to be able to do that, because they can definitely take that leadership shit and turn it into manipulation. And people like Paige from Married at First Sight will get played. However, our girl Liz is not about to get led into narcissism or anything that can seem manipulative to her. So shout out to her for that. So now to go ahead and jump on this date, David finally shows up and he meets Clarence. And Clarence is like, yeah, it's nice to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you. But I do have some questions. And David's like, hold on, like, so is it nice to meet me or not? Like, what do we need to discuss? So Clarence ends up saying, I heard about, whatever you exposed some information in front of your friends that Liz had told you in private. And David is all like, you know what, before we even get down to that, I need to know when was the last time y'all were intimate. I was like, sir, this date is not, it's not about that. Okay, while you should be asking questions, we want to know about you. We want to know why you are playing these exposing games. So he's like, I just need to know what the dynamic is on this. Because then he was going to decide if he was going to basically have to punish Liz again or not. And Clarence ends up saying, I think we kissed like years ago one time, and that was it. He looks at Liz like, is that so? And Liz is like, yeah, it was years ago. When, y'all? Like, wow, David's crazy ass shouldn't have been asking that. I wanted to know. I told y'all that I don't feel like they gave us enough tea when it came to the exes. I really wish that they went deeper and told us, like, is this like a play ex? Is this somebody I messed around with for 2 months? Is this somebody I was with for a year and a half? Nobody talked about that. So anyway, they both say that their last intimacy, which is so fucking weird to say, was years ago. And basically Clarence says to David, like, I can't really respect you because, you know, you were supposed to be a safe place for Liz. Do you think that you're a safe place? And David just starts saying, yes, you know, blah, 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 safe place. You're my top. I mean, I'm prioritizing you and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, how are you a safe place if every time Liz pisses you off, you try to punish her, expose her, or embarrass her? So I heard this one saying, y'all. It sounded so crazy, but it kind of reminds me of the way that David moves. So it was a leader, and he said something along the lines of like, if somebody crosses you, first you, what is it? Ostracize, humiliate, and then alienate. And that's what I felt like David was moving like. So the audacity for him to say, yes, this is a safe place. Where? What are you talking about? So I really hope that this man gets sent home. Yes, I've heard that saying before. It's ostracize, humiliate, and then alienate. That's basically how you break someone down. So pay attention to those signs when y'all see stuff like that. I feel like that is how David's moving. He wants to break her down only to get her in the position that he wants her in. And then they can start from ground one and he can mold her into who he wants her to be. So I really hope that our guy David is going home, y'all. We don't know at this point. So the next day, y'all, we get Kyra and Timothy. And, you know, Jason's over at the house. This is her top for the moment. She didn't have AJ meet the ex. She had Jason meet the ex. One thing I noticed about Timothy is so Texas. That's what he sounds like. He sounds so just Southern. It was funny to hear him talk and hear his accent on the TV. But yeah, he definitely was a virtual meetup. I wish we would have saw him in person. I wish that we would have found out more about their relationship as well. So Jason's there. Y'all know Jason is not one of my favorite on this show. And to be real with y'all, it's not even anything against Jason. It's literally all the men on this show. I don't really care. Yeah, I'm here with you, Monica Dennis. Who is selecting the men for this show? Okay? Because the women come with the credentials. The women are business owners, attorneys. And we can't necessarily find anything that's wrong with this group of women. Now, there were people at the beginning, but they got eliminated. But now, this group of women, I'm like, I can't really find out what's wrong with you. With the men, they're so shallow. They're there for the wrong reasons. It's just, I don't know. Somebody has to do better picking, y'all. So Jason is there in his turtleneck, and they're talking to Timothy, and Timothy wants to know what do you see with Kyra? How long have you been removed from your last relationship? And Jason says that it's been a year and a half since his last relationship. Now, y'all, David was one of the ones who told us in his introduction episode that he was engaged before and his fiance cheated on him and he found out. So I want to know, has it been like a year and a half since the breakup of your engagement, or were you in other relationships after that? Like, it's so many questions that I want to get the answer to, okay? And yes, Timothy spilled the tea. Timothy said, Kyra took all my money and she's stubborn as an MFer. That's basically what he said in the gist, just like that. Doja says, Timothy spilled the tea. He talked too much. Yes, he did. While this should have been a date for Timothy to get the tea on Jason, he could have worked it both ways, but he instead was basically like, nah, Kyra got money, but she spend money like, she don't even pay attention to it. She just spend money. She need to be more financially savvy. And she made sure to tell him at the end of the day after Jason left that, well, that's more of a personal thing. She said, that's more of a personal thing. I have no reservations about Jason. So she politely told him, you didn't have to do all that, is what she said. She was like, you did not have to do all that. So I thought that was funny. Jason did tell us that he's looking for a wife, and I'm like, not the way you moving though. I just don't see it. Last episode, he told us that Kyra was definitely his number one. He took her on that date. And then this episode, he was all up in Liz's face. And I'm just like, while I could just be like, oh, you're supposed to be with Kyra, I really don't want Jason with nobody. I really want Kyra to go home with nobody. I really want Liz to go home with nobody. And that's not because I don't want them to find love. It's because your man ain't on this show. Y'all deserve more. You deserve better. So that's what it is. Timothy was trying it, spilling all the tea. So next, y'all, we get into another interesting date. This date was very interesting. So whenever I first saw Tony hop on screen, I saw those perfect looking teeth. I saw the plump lips. And while Black people naturally have full lips, it was something about his lips that just looked done. Something looked real done. Like he got them full. They were giving pout. And then his eyebrows were giving very much clean. And I'm like, this man looking real metro is what I thought. My first note, y'all, no lie, it says Tony is funny looking. I said Tony is funny looking. So he's there. Him and Amber, they definitely seem to give off a super friend vibe. One thing that I should have took a picture of, but I didn't get a picture of, was Chris's jacket. When Chris walked in with that fur jacket on and something underneath, I was like, what is KG wearing? I am dying. Janisha Lucas, supposed to be working, but listening to you. Hey, girl, don't get caught up. So Chris walked in and he had that jacket. I'm like, dang, both of y'all is looking real cute. Y'all looking real funny. So they start discussing like, KG, how many kids do you want? And Chris says he wants a tribe of like 5 kids. And Amber and Tony both go, ooh, okay. And Tony looks at Amber like, you want 5 kids? And Amber says, yeah, 3 or 5, like either one is fine. And I talked to y'all about this in my last review. Something about Amber, sometimes I feel like she's just agreeing to get along. Oh, this the one right here. Bro Ninja want 5 kids. You are killing me. No, literally, okay? Because last season with Nia, she wanted him to cover like mortgage and car notes so she didn't have to pay any bills, and he couldn't do that. 5 kids is a lot. That is very true. You got to think about what your income is with 5 children. So that was bold. But I'm sure with Amber's income, they could have 5 children. So that's why I'm like, Amber, are you just agreeing because you like Chris? Do you want 3 kids or do you want 5 kids? That's a big difference, okay? 3 kids, you can still fit in a sedan. 5 kids, you're going to have to get a Subaru or a van. That's a big difference, sis. So I don't know. Even when it came down to talking about, do you want marriage or do you want a soulmate? I'm like, Amber definitely gave me that she was wanting marriage, but it seems like her and Chris are on the same page. She was like, no, I want a soulmate. So y'all tell me, since I got y'all on live, this is my favorite part. Does Amber really want 5 kids, or do y'all feel like Amber is pretty much like, I like Chris. If Chris wants 5 kids, we can have 5 kids. So is she stunting, or do she really want 5 kids? 3 to 5 is a big difference to me. Come on, light up the comment box. She agrees to everything. Yes, Amber agrees with everything. I'm like, come on now. Amber just likes what Chris likes. J. Antoinette says, I think Amber is just playing the game. Hey, Naturally Mar. She says Amber maybe wants to. She's fronting. Absolutely. Yes. My ex-husband wanted 6 kids. I don't know what that means. Oh, but stopped after the second. I wasn't giving him 6. Girl, yes. So she just getting along with the get along. I think she lying about not wanting to be a wife, and I think she's agreeing just to be agreeing. Yes, okay, Asia. Amber is changing her views for Chris. Hopefully they end up together. Absolutely. Absolutely. See, y'all see exactly what I'm seeing. Amber claims that she's not really emotional, but it's like, it seems like your emotions can be played on. You're not showing us emotion, but it seems like your emotions can be played on and you're easily influenced because you're hoping to get along. One piece of advice that somebody told me when I got engaged a couple months ago, best advice ever from an old lady. She said, when you do have kids, have as many kids as you can take care of. And when she said you, she means you as a single person. Ain't no way in this world I will be stuck with 5 kids if something don't work out. So, Amber, you might want to pedal back on that, sis. Come on, y'all got a lot of kids to have at this ripe age. So, now, y'all, it is time. Oh, I didn't even talk about Tony. Tony ended up telling us that he and Amber had broken up because of something that he went through. And come to find out, he is into guys. Y'all surprised or not? I'm not surprised. So they're definitely friends. And Chris likes that about Amber, that, you know, she helped him get through that, discovering his sexuality, and she ended up being his friend even after the fact. So that really made Chris admire Amber even more, which I think is cool. I think that was nice for their relationship, that she was able to remain friends with Tony, and that he discovered that about himself. Nobody was surprised. Nah, nobody was surprised. Nope. Yep. One love, Shara. I knew as soon as I seen the turtleneck, girl, yes, I could tell by the outfit. I'm with you, no shade. And like I said just a couple minutes ago, it was something, Black people have full lips, but it was definitely something about the plumpness of his lips that just felt very much done. I'm like, you looking too cute. Like, cute. Like, let's go to brunch, girl. Okay, so now we get into the double date, y'all. We get AJ, Alexis, Jason, and Liz. Now, this is definitely double date of the forced couples. This is what I'm gonna go ahead and call it, okay? Jason and Liz, it's a force. This kiss over here that you see with AJ and Alexis, it's a force. AJ and Alexis is very much giving me, for those of you who watched the last season, they're very much giving me Winter and the dude she picked. If y'all watched the last season, somebody tell me what that dude's name was. But Winter had her sights set on one dude the whole time she was on the show, who was interested in somebody else. She ended up deciding that was it Brian? No, it wasn't Brian. Anthony. Thank you. It was Anthony. AJ and Alexis are giving Winter and Anthony. Y'all have gone so far on this show. I definitely see that AJ is turning it into a competition at this point. I haven't seen AJ make any real connections with anybody, but yet he still wants to compete. You're competing for what? To say that you made it to the end? Because the whole point of this show is to find love and to find a real connection. So at this point in the show, if you haven't found anybody, just go ahead and bow out. Go ahead and self-eliminate. But AJ is fighting not for Alexis. He's fighting for his spot on the show. So I'm like, Alexis, girl, you see that. He's like, oh, can I shut you up real quick? Kisses her. And I was just like, y'all, I'm good on it. Y'all could have kept that kiss. And, ooh, here we go right here. Come on, Fedora. AJ used Alexis' insecurities to his advantage. That's why he played smooth, because he knows he can use Alexis to stay longer in a game where there is no actual prize. He's just competitive. Exactly what I'm saying, word for word. That kiss is too cringe. Absolutely. Yeah, he's just being competitive. For what reason? And I feel like this episode, we should have known that Alexis was a little bit insecure. Definitely. Hey, Taurus Moon. Thank you so much. So we should have known Alexis was a little bit insecure, down to the aggressiveness, or I don't know if I want to call it. She was being super flirtatious, okay? Down to the assertiveness that she showed with the men on the show. You only move like that if you're a little bit insecure. Like, you doing a whole lot, okay? And then the fact that she kept flashing that she was Ron's number one, I definitely felt like that was her showing a little bit of insecurity. She was trying to play up her insecurities. And that's exactly what AJ did in this moment. She let us know that the only reason why she was choosing Ron was because Ron chose her first. Nobody on this show had chose Alexis first, because I was a little bit confused whenever Alexis let us know that her and Ron were a thing. I was like, where did this come from? And it came from Ron actually choosing her. So AJ had never chose her. While he is good looking to her, and while she really likes him and she feels like their swags match or whatever, he had never really made the move to pick her. AJ has just been coasting on this show. And one of the things I hate is that he's not in the bottom two. So he's going to make it to the end. And once he makes it to the end, I'm telling y'all, Alexis and AJ is going to be giving us Winter and Anthony. They're going to go home with each other. They're going to choose each other at the end, act like they're so in love. And that's that on that. And they'll be done. They're not going to last any time at all. Does Alexis want street guys or church guys? Exactly. That's why sometimes I'm like, what is Alexis really giving us? I know a lot of hood people who love Jesus, okay? But Alexis gives very sensual, very sexual, while also giving church. And it's like, what man are you going to meet in the middle of that? You're going to meet men who really don't go to church like that, or you're going to meet somebody like a pastor like your ex, and you probably repressed so much of that sexual energy. That's why you out here looking like you for everybody. And when I say that, don't take that out of context. I don't mean that she's having relations with everybody. I just mean that she's overly flirtatious with everybody. And, whichever person chooses her, she's ready to go with. So I'm like, what do you want, sis? So what happened? I think that's pretty much it on the day. AJ basically just kissed her to distract her. And I'm just like, ugh, that's another one. Honestly, y'all, if we had to be real, the only couple who I would be okay going home together at the end of this is Joelle and Vernicia. And I would be okay with them going home with each other, knowing that it wouldn't last too much longer after the show ended. Because Joelle still has some reservations about only having his eyes set on Vernicia the whole time. So, I don't know. Everybody else can go. At this point, y'all, we just talking about this show to Kiki. Because we know ain't nobody gonna end up together at all. Like Bonnie Blue be saying, it ain't ready to love, it's ready to F you, okay? It's ready to do that. So now, y'all, we are back at the ladies' lounge. Let me get my water. So we are back at the ladies' lounge. And this time, the ladies are discussing their elimination. I'm okay with this being the ladies' lounge. I'm happy that the ladies are inside. But I'm like, why can't they just get a nicer setup? They could get a nice setup like the men's lounge. Take the men's lounge and flip it. Give them different drinks or give them the same drinks. Whatever y'all want to do to turn it into a ladies' lounge, just use the same room. It's not like y'all have it on the same weeks. So the ladies start going around talking about their dates. Kyra really doesn't say much. The two people who speak up about their concerns are Liz and Alexis. Liz ends up telling everybody exactly what David did. And I was actually kind of shocked. I didn't know that Liz was a bad, yep. Okay, I can't, Janisha. Liz's outfit gave me First Lady vibes. I'm about to say that too. Yes, she was. Liz was giving First Lady vibes for episodes, all the way until she got the attention that she got at the masquerade ball. So that's also why I feel like Liz and Alexis are kind of one and the same. They're just on opposite ends of the spectrum. Liz leads with Christ, but she also likes to show a little body yaddy. You know that Jason is attracted to your body, and you know, I feel like she should have known that Jason didn't really show interest in her until she started showing her body. So they're kind of similar. She liked the attention. Alexis is on the worst end of it. Okay, you love attention. You love being overly sexual. I don't get First Lady vibes from Alexis. So yes, I wasn't here for Liz's outfit. So the two people who voiced their concerns are Alexis and Liz. Alexis starts talking about her concern with Ron and how she didn't like how Ron said that Joseph was just, spilling out religious energy off of him, and how he said that if something was going on in his life, he would just go out and get it and not really pray on it. And nephew Tommy and his wife Jackie end up having a real conversation with Alexis, and they're saying like, that's not something that you're going to be able to negotiate. That's going to be an issue that y'all are going to have every Sunday. And whether you like it or not, this man, you have to choose between being with this man because he chose you, or staying true to yourself and to God and who carried you, through your life and different situations that you've gone through. So Alexis starts crying. And I don't think she was crying because she was sad that she had to break up with Ron. I think she was crying because she noticed the level of insecurities that she had been displaying on this show. And she also noticed like, wow, this is a wake-up call for me. I need to pay attention to what I want. See, that's what Tori just said. Tori's Moon just said, I don't understand why Alexis was crying. She wasn't crying for Ron. I think she was crying because Fedora, I think she was crying because she realized the level of insecurity that she was showing. You were willing to settle for a man just because he chose you, and now you have to consider if you were changing yourself, or I guess not staying true to your religion for the sake of having a man. Now, Fedora, was Tommy almost crying talking about praying over his land? Girl, I was like, Tommy, why are we talking about this land? It was just, I don't know. It was a little awkward to me. It was a little unfitting. Melody loves losing her accent. I do too, girl. So, yes. The other person who was speaking about it was Liz. Liz ended up telling us about David and how he spilled the information on her kissing Jason. She explained her date as intense, and that is exactly what it was. So he ends up asking all the ladies the same question that he asked the men the last episode. If this all were to end today, who are you walking away with? Kyra says that she chooses Jason. Liz also says that she chooses Jason, and while I don't think that Liz is there for either one of the women, Jason is definitely the safer choice because we know that David is dangerous. Okay, that's no shade to David, but he's definitely given dangerous. Vernicia says that she will leave with Joelle. Amber, Chris, of course, and Alexis says AJ. She flips it just like that. Now, the bottom two are dun, 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 Ron and David. Ain't no surprise there, y'all. We knew they were going to be the bottom two. The only thing is we don't know who is going home, okay? So this meeting with Alexis and Ron was intense, to say the least. It was shady as hell. And it definitely showed me that I don't think that they really like each other like that. They don't like each other like that. I think that, just like Alexis says, you were all about Ron just because he chose you. Because if y'all like each other like that, ain't no way y'all would be having discussions like that at the dinner table. So she basically tells Ron that she was uncomfortable with him saying something about, dripping in religion. And he's basically just like, it is what it is. That's how I am. I'm not going to pray about nothing. I'm going to go out and get it. That's the difference between me and you. Okay. And then they started talking about divine masculine. And he said, Alexis said something along the lines of, in my household, I would want the man to lead in Christ, basically. Ron is not going to give you that. And Ron says, well, the divine masculine is probably something that you haven't had in your life in a minute. I was like, what? Is that shade? What's going on? And then Alexis says, well, I was really choosing you because you chose me. And he was like, okay, well, now it's just sounding like you needed validation. And to be honest, that's exactly what it was. She would have chose anybody as long as they chose her. And she's just letting you know that it just happened to be you. So yes, she was looking for validation. And Alexis says, did you choose me because you like me? Or did you choose me because of what I could offer you? And Ron says, offer me? What can you do for me? And when he said that, I can definitely see how Alexis felt belittled, okay? Now, when she said, because of what I can offer you, part of me knew what Ron meant when he said, what can you offer me? But part of me was also like, man, Ron, that's effed up, because now you're diminishing her, acting like she can't offer you anything. So y'all, this whole time Ron and Alexis has got together, Ron kept saying, I can build an empire with Alexis. Alexis has that energy where I can do this and I can do that. And that is what she was talking about by offer you. She felt like she had that boss mentality that you were looking for. So is that why you liked her? And it just was not cool at all. Ron definitely showed his entire black ass. Tiara. Ron showed his whole booty in that conversation. Trash. He did. Hey, Angie, honey, what's up, girl? Here we go. VA. Alexis can go. She knew Ron was not into church. You should have discussed that from the beginning. Melanie, this has to be the one. I think Ron knew he was about to go home, so he was just like, let me go out with a bang, because he was acting a fool. Facts. Okay, C. Golden. So this is what I was talking about. C. Golden says, nah, Ron and his friends were talking about Alexis taking him to the next level. Okay. Ron and his friends felt like Alexis had a boss mentality, and that's what she could offer him. I see why Ron was a little taken aback, I'm not going to lie, because the types of things that they said, that boss mentality is not something that's tangible. So what was it exactly that she was going to offer him? For one. For two, disrespectful as hell, just like Fedora said. He was trying to belittle her. At first, she was a boss B. Now, all of a sudden, it's just like, forget you. So, y'all, the next couple that we're going to talk about is Liz and David. Liz and David sit down. They don't show us anything. They sit down. One of the things I thought was funny was Liz wasted no time. She said, hey, David, so me and the ladies met with Tommy. I was like, dang, girl. She didn't waste no time. Like, you didn't even say, how are you doing? What's your weekend? How was your dates like? Thank you, ARSC. Happy Memorial Day. She didn't waste any time. And David, I think he knew he was going to go home. David wants to stay on the show to further manipulate Liz. And David's not the one who would allow someone to leave him. This made me think about the ex-wife, y'all. This is the breakup situation. David knew that this breakup situation was happening. In the moment that Liz was ready to break up with his ass, he didn't want to allow her to talk. So I'm like, I wonder if this type of behavior happened with your ex-wife, and that's why she just decided to leave like a thief in the night. Okay. Let me leave. No, let me leave. Oh, but let me leave. Hey, Shawty, let me leave. I was like, y'all doing too much, okay? The scene triggered Jay Antoinette so much. Literally, I was like, now this is a little scary. Very scary. So they start standing up. They start leveling up. No, let me leave. And the episode ends right there. At this point, all four of them could go home, in my book. All four of them, okay? But if all four of them can't go home, since it's only the men's week to go home, in my book, David and Ron could go home, both of them, and I will be happy. But, I hate that a lot of times on this show, I feel like at the beginning, they always make it less men than women. And it's always the women competing against each other for the men's attention. I don't feel like we get that dynamic on the other side of things, which is why I kind of like it to be an even or so amount of men versus women. And I don't like the women to be competitive. Yes, David grabbed for the arms and tried to make her sit down. He did. He did. David has been divorced twice and can't figure out that his way doesn't work. Okay? People are too funny to me. Like, another show I was watching. It's like people have been married before. They be like, no, this is how marriage works. How do you know if neither one of your two marriages work? Okay? Angie, honey, the show is not set up right. I have to agree with you. But what I do like about the show is that it's real life. That they go home and they're not living in the house together for weeks on weeks on weeks. I actually do enjoy that about the show. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think the setup would be horrible if they chose the right people. They didn't choose the right people, and that's all it was. Tiara says everyone but Chris can go. I wouldn't go that far. But I do like Chris, y'all. Chris doesn't bother me at all. Chris and Amber, I wouldn't mind if they went home together. Amber, if you like it, I love it. If you want to, go with the flow with whatever he's doing, if you like it, I love it. I don't care. Oh, my goodness. Woohoo! They said real life isn't set up right from Kendra Harris. Okay. And yes, they are going to DC next. Doja says double elimination. Yes. Okay, this is what I wanted to say, but I didn't want to bring up a whole nother show. Tiara, it's definitely David giving Eric vibes to me. Like Jay Lee be saying, killer vibes. That's exactly what I was getting. Oh gosh, Ivy Naya 29. It's true to life. A lot of people are not ready to love. That's true. But I really just wish that I don't know. Y'all, what they need to do is all of us who be reviewing shows, get us on the casting so that way we can tell you who will make for good TV and who is ready to love. Because a lot of the times I believe that production is capable of picking people who are ready to love, but I believe that they also know that may not make for the best TV. So they choose people who are ready to lust, just like Janisha said. Miss Brown Sugar, we are picking up what you putting down. Eric, okay? But y'all, I really enjoyed this episode. I really liked episode 8. This has been, one of my favorite shows. It's always been something to talk about every single episode. So, I'll leave it right there, y'all. I hope that y'all have a really good Memorial Day. I hope y'all are relaxed. Y'all get some barbecue or whatever it is. Y'all eat some potato salad, big beans, something to drink. And I hope that y'all have a good rest of y'all's day. I will catch y'all with another video. I have to review Run the World. Ooh, another thing. I haven't told anybody yet, but there's going to be a new show on BET called Encore. And it's about the girl groups. Let me know if y'all seen the previews for that. It's the girl groups. It's like a Carlos King show where they bring like Shamari on there. They bring some of the girls from Baby Kane. They bring the girls from Charity on there. I think 702 is on there too. And they're supposed to be like working on an album together, which don't really make sense to me. But it seems like it's going to be entertaining. So I will review that. I think that's coming on June 8th or 9th. And then some other stuff is coming on. Y'all just turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any of my posts on the community wall. And until then, I hope y'all enjoy the review. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.